is Abdurrahman. I'm a lecturer at a public university in Kenya. I deliver lectures in computing and informatics. In our last lesson, we talked about repetition control structure. And onto it, we had seen there are three types of repetition control structure. We talked about a for loop, and we talked about a while loop, and finally we talked about a do-while loop. However, both of them we had seen that actually they have what you call an iteration or a loop onto them. So today we're taking one of them and we're asking ourselves, what is a for loop control structure? And on that particular journey, we are going to define a for loop, find out its syntax, and then finally implement it. So let's start onto it and see what it is actually a for loop. So basically, for loop consists of three parts. So if we have got our for loop here, actually it has three parts. First part, it is what you call initialization. Second part is what you call upper condition. And third part is what actually we call a modifier. So under the condition, basically under the initialization actually allows a programmer to define the variable loop. So allows to define the variable loop. And basically under initialization, it is only actually executed once. So it is executed only once. And then the condition. Now let's go back to a condition. This condition takes what you call a binary condition. And basically when the condition is true, then it executes a statement. When it is false, it exits the program. Now that is the condition, how it works. However, how does the loop comes about? So when it is true, it executes the program and then goes to the modifier. So what does the modifier does? Modifier basically updates. Modifier updates the loop. It can take either an incrementer or a decrementer. So it updates the loop and continue until the condition it is false. When the condition it is false, then it exits the program. So basically that is how a for loop actually works. So let's see the same for loops. How does it look like when we look it in a DFD, that is data flow diagram. So if here we have got up a start of a program, that particular program does what you call the first part, the initialization. After doing up initialization, it goes and asks for a condition. So here we've got a condition. If this condition it is true, then what happens? The loop statement executes. and then after it is execute, it goes back to the modifier and then modify the loops. So after modifying up the loop, it goes back to the condition and look up the condition. If it is still true, and then actually it loops here, goes back to the statement, loop, goes back to the modifier, go back to the condition. So it loops here. It will loop until the condition now it is false. When the condition it is false, now the program exit and end here. So basically that's how it works. So from that particular note, let's see what will be the syntax. So the syntax for the for loop is a very simple one. So the word for is written there, and then here we'll have our initialization, which will be terminated by semicolon. Then we'll have our condition terminated by semicolon, and then we'll have our modifier, and then close, and then we'll have closing opening bracket, and we'll have our loop statement here, and then terminated. Now how does it work? Basically this is how it works. First, it has to come and look here at the initialization and actually execute once. After looking up that, it goes back and look at the condition. If this condition it is true, then it comes back to the statement and execute it. After executing this particular statement, it goes back and modify either by incrementing or decrementing, and then after that goes back again and look at the condition. So this is actually the loop here. Looking at the condition, go to the statement, modify until it is false, then it actually exits the program. So, and here you'll have our final closing curly bracket. So basically that is how the loop actually works, the for loop, how it works. And finally we are going to look at the implementation. So implementation, basically we are going to take up a loop and see how we can actually print numbers 1 to 10 using up a loop statement. So let's go to dev C++ and demonstrate how actually we can do that. So basically here it is where we are writing up our for loop. So we'll have up our for loop, and we can initialize here. So you can say int I equals to 1, and then we terminate, and then we are saying I should actually be less than or equals to 10, because we want to generate numbers from 1 to 10. And then here we have to modify the loop. So here what we are using up is an incrementer, because after 1 we want to move on to others. And then basically what do we do? Basically we open the curly bracket and close the curly bracket, and we put up a loop statement. So our loop statement basically is just to print. What do we want to print is to print up I, and actually we want to print up I in a horizontal manner. So we put up an escape sequence of a new line for each and every one, and then we have a format specifier because it is an integer. So we'll have up a D, and then basically what do we have? We are printing up I. So let's see what happens here. The loop will come actually and check, is it I here, the value we are given it, will initialize it and give it as 1. Is 1 less than 10? Yes, 1 it is less than 10. Less than 10, come and print up 1. After printing up 1, we go back to the modifier and increment it. Now it becomes up 2. So we check up the condition. Is it 2 less than 10? Go and put it up 2. We go on until when we reach up 11. 11 will ask, is it 11 less than or equal to 10? It will say no and exit. So we'll have our output as 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. So let's run this particular program and see what happens. So we have run this particular program, and actually it has given us on a horizontal manner 1, 2, 3 up to 10. So that is how the syntax and the implementation and the definition of a for loop control structure. And here we are coming up to the end of our session. So don't forget to subscribe and wait for our new session, which will talk about the while loop. Thank you.